When we go to bed at night, we are often relaxed, knowing that it's a time of peace in our bedroom where we feel safe. However, sometimes things lurk in the darkness that you did not expect. Here are 10 creepy things people found hidden in their bedroom. Number 10 is the cat burglar. On March 17, 2015, an unnamed 61-year-old hairdresser was searching her bedroom for her missing cats, who'd oddly suddenly decided to hide. However, upon reaching under her bed where the felines normally hid, instead of feeling a cat, her hand touched human skin. Hiding under the woman's bed was a burglar who had moments earlier broken into her home. That burglar was 25-year-old Lake Worth resident Christian Vadovec, who quickly ran from the scene, jumping a fence before police, who had been called by a worried neighbor, caught up with him and placed him under arrest. Vadovec had broken a window to gain entry to the woman's home and stole a gold chain, as well as a digital camera, before the woman began searching for her cats. Luckily, she let him go, or she may not have made it out alive. Number 9 is the Stalker Texter. In July of 2014, an unidentified 16-year-old girl in Chester, Cheshire, England, was shocked to receive multiple texts from a stalker, one of which said, "I'm watching you." Scared for her life, the teenager decided to sleep in her mother's room, only to get a terrifying text which read, "I'm in the house with you." Finally falling asleep, the girl got up the next morning and went into her own bedroom. However, she quickly noticed that the shoe boxes that she kept organized under her bed had been moved and called her mother immediately. They found hiding under the bed was 18-year-old Kyle Ravenscroft, who'd been obsessed with the teenage girl for some time. Ravenscroft fled the house, stealing the girl's phone in the process. He was later arrested, and it was discovered that he'd initially intended for the girl to find his dead body. Number 8 is Bizarro Santa. A few days before the holidays in 2008, Stacy Furrence and her family heard strange noises coming from the attic of their duplex home, but simply dismissed it as a cat or one of the 3 children. Then, on Christmas Day, they found some of their gifts had vanished. Simply thinking that they were misplaced, the family was shocked again when, later that night, more presents went missing. The next day, they found footprints in a bedroom closet and called the police, who found a man hiding in the attic. Though he had the same initials as Santa Claus, 21-year-old Stanley Carter was anything but. It turns out he had been asked to leave the other half of the duplex on the 19th. And instead snuck into the attic instead, accessing the Ferences' home through a bedroom closet ceiling entrance, and had been stealing food and clothing from both units. Number 7 is a creepy ex-boyfriend. A 41-year-old woman living in Rock Hill, South Carolina, named Tracy, began hearing creaks and thumps from the attic above her bed at night. Soon after, she realized that the nails were coming out of the tiles in her ceiling and started suspecting her house was haunted by a malevolent poltergeist. Then, on the night of September 8th, 2012, Tracy was browsing the internet in bed when she spotted some plaster falling from above and alerted her sons and nephew, who investigated the attic. It was there that they found several cups of urine and feces and a pile of blankets containing none other than Tracy's ex-boyfriend. The two had been broken up for over 12 years before that, and he'd been using the vents to watch her while she slept. The man had been living there in secret since he got out of prison nearly 2 weeks earlier. Number 6 is Kintyre. On July 24, 2007, 34-year-old Bob Kinghorn was renovating a house in East Toronto when he came across a shocking discovery. While looking for wires in the ceiling of a second-floor bedroom, he found an old package tied up with string tucked between that room and the attic bedroom above it. What was in the package actually made Kinghorn so upset he felt nauseated, immediately leaving the house entirely before calling the police. What was inside the package was the mummified remains of a newborn baby boy. The body was tested and it was proven to be around 80 years old. Named after Kintyre Street, where the house was located, Kintyre was laid to rest in a very emotional ceremony on October 12, 2007, but it is still unknown who he is and how he got there. Kind of makes you wonder what's between the walls of your home. Number 5 is the Valet Stalker. On November 27, 2005, 35-year-old Michelle Fredenberg-Onion, a director in the physical therapy department at Holy Cross Hospital in Washington, D.C., was entertaining a male companion in her apartment when the man spotted something moving on the floor by her bed. Investigating, he found 32-year-old Carlo Castanelos Faria, one of the valets at Michelle's hospital. It turned out the creepy stalker had copied Michelle's keys while she was working and had entered her apartment, set up a camera pointed at her bed in order to watch her activities, and then prepared a more intimate area for himself under which she slept. Police believe he'd actually been hiding out in the apartment for up to 2 days before he was caught. Along with Carlo, police found a bag containing a power cord, condoms, and a pair of gloves. What he planned to do with those gloves is still unknown. Number 4 is an angry ghost. On September 5th, 2017, 64-year-old Lynn Peters was on Facebook when she noticed that her grandson Neil Day's profile picture had something strange in the background. The teenager had taken a selfie in his bedroom and accidentally captured the room's other occupant, the ghost of an old man. However, this wasn't the first time that the spirit appeared, as since the Day family had moved in between 2012 and 2013, it had been spotted multiple times, usually after a room had been rearranged. According to Neil and his father Gary, the phantom would groan, growl, or outright appear as a dark shadow, looming over the boy's bed, as if unhappy with being disturbed by furniture being moved around and people who would often ask who the old man in his window was while outside. Number 3 is a rotting corpse. On July 13, 2003, an unidentified man who'd been staying at the Capri Motel in Kansas City, Missouri, checked out after complaining about the horrible smell in his room. Investigating, room cleaners discovered that hidden under the mattress of the bed was the rotting body of an adult man. According to reports, the corpse went undiscovered due to wooden panels on either side of the bed that kept what was underneath out of sight, and police claimed it must have been there for quite a few days as it was in an advanced form of decomposition. Many locals confirmed the motel was a hotspot for drug dealing as well as other illegal activities, and believed this could have been a drug deal gone wrong. However, alarmingly, this isn't the first time a hotel's guest's nose has led to a dead body being discovered. Number 2 is a poltergeist. When 38-year-old Seattle resident Brian O'Neill and his wife, 32-year-old Bridget, arrived home on the night of July 9th, 2014, they found their home vandalized. Clothes and other items were thrown about, Their toilet was full of house paint, lotion, and had been smeared all over the door handles, and 20 pairs of shoes sat without soles. They called the police, who performed a 45-minute investigation and determined that there was nothing missing. Thinking their home was haunted, the couple began cleaning up, only to hear sounds coming from the bedroom. Fleeing, they called the police immediately back. However, soon after they re-entered the premises, officers escorted a thin 27-year-old woman out of the home. She'd been on a self-described meth rampage and was hiding under the O'Neill's bed with a kitchen knife. Kind of makes you consider what would be scarier, that or an actual poltergeist. And number 1 is the Livein Murderer. On October 17, 1941, 73-year-old Philip Peters was roused from a nap by a sound coming from downstairs. Checking it out, the old man found 59-year-old Theodore Conays taking food from his kitchen. A fight ensued and Conays ended up beating Peters to death. It turned out Conays, a wiry thin man, had been living in Peters' house for nearly 5 weeks, using a small trapdoor in the ceiling of the bedroom closet to hide in. When police officers investigated later that evening, they didn't even inspect the space as it was too small to contain any evidence of worth. So Conays continued living there, his actions and sounds blamed on ghosts, which actually made the estate's housekeeper quit and flee the home. It wasn't until someone saw him looking out a window that the murderer was finally caught. So, that was 10 creepy things people found hidden in their bedroom. But if you enjoyed this, remember to give it a big thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications by clicking the bell beside the subscribe button so that you never miss a thing, because I release new videos all the time. Thank you for watching, and sweet dreams.